about the Messi thing?
Anything else on the Messi front, Chris, before we move on?
No, I'm done.
I'm falling out. I told you, I never want to bring this guy's name up again.
I don't know, man. This Messi thing is just a freaking mess. What a disaster.
I don't want to hear this name ever again until it's official. But they got me back.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 186 of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Granada, and alongside me, as always, Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
Barely. I mean, we're barely back. Hey, did you watch the same game that I did? That was a rough watch.
I thought it was an entertaining game.
I mean, it was a back and forth game. They had their time. We had our time. You know, they had their moments. We had our moments. But listen, I gotta agree with what a lot of people are saying in the chat. This team without Messi is a very scary situation.
You know what? It's true. It is true, but it sucks to think that. Because if you think about it, let's say hypothetically, we would have never gotten Messi.
Yeah.
But we would have added every single other piece to this team. Maybe you wouldn't be saying like, oh, they have to win it all like they do now that we have Messi. But wouldn't everybody be saying like, this is one hell of a roster?
Oh, absolutely. But I think the problem is that when you have Messi on a team and he doesn't play, and especially comparing MLS rosters that don't have him, like Inter Miami versus, you know, Barcelona or whatever team it is that he's played for, you know, you're talking about like apples and oranges here, right? You know, the quality of teammates that he had in other clubs versus the quality of teammates he has here. But I guess that's the gift and the curse that you get when you have Messi on the same team. You know, you miss Messi and you miss Messi.
Yeah, I know, but this team has to deliver anyway. Like that's
They
not
do.
an excuse. That's not
They
an
do.
excuse. This team should be good enough to effing score. Like they should be able to score.
I should have worn that shirt today.
We did kiss ugly sisters today for sure.
Yes,
Esteban Dito showing his true colors that he's been with us for a long time. So shout out to Esteban Dito.
Esteban Dito's the man.
I know we go through this, but real quick, I did want to say, player that stood out to me, Tomas Aviles. I thought he had one hell of a game. He was everywhere. We've said it on this show plenty of times. Defensively, I think he is great. He is young, he is great, and he's going to get better. But distributing the ball is his weakness. But Orlando really wasn't pressing much. So that wasn't an issue today. Awesome. And I also thought Drake had a good game, and Busquets might have been the player of the game. Chris, your thoughts on the overall game?
Well, I didn't think we were going to get to like our man of the match yet, but I guess if that's, you know, where we're taking it, and
Well,
it's
I mean, 0-0, like.
Yeah, what else is there to take away from that, right? I mean, Busquets by far, and it's mentioned here by Porfirio, Busquets man of the match. That is absolutely playing both sides very, very well.
Toto.
Well, yeah, Toto was phenomenal. And you know what it is that he was phenomenal coming back from injury? You know, I gotta be honest. I gotta be
yellow card accumulation.
Wait, I was the yellow card accumulation. My fault. Mm-hmm. I gotta be honest. I was very skeptical about this Freire and Toto backline, and I'm kind of telling that they're playing very well with each other. They kind of know when to pick and pick their spots and figure out who's going to go up, who's going to come back. And I'm really liking that. It's something that I didn't anticipate, and it's something that I'm enjoying very, very much.
Well, look, and that's the issue with Aviles is that when they get pressed is when the biggest issue for him is. But defensively, he's a rock back there. He has pace to get back. Like I love what Tomas Aviles is doing. And Mr. Krabs says that on FootMob, he was the highest rated player at 7.7. Look, him and Busquets stood out to me by far as the main contributors. I think if Jordi Alba plays this full game instead of Negri, I don't want to poop on Negri because I don't think he had a bad game necessarily. No. But I think Jordi Alba helps us get at least one on the board. Alba, you could tell the difference as soon as he got on the pitch. So, but maybe he's not fully healthy. So, I mean, not too much to say about that. But it is nice to see that he's back.
Yeah, you and a bunch of people. Aria is one of the last commenters saying this. Glad to have Alba back finally. We finally got a clean sheet, right? For Drake. So that was great.
I see Bruno saying Drake deserves more credit. I literally wore a Drake shirt. Like, how much more credit do we have to give? We started the show by saying he had a good game. He got a clean sheet. Drake had a good game. Obviously, it's not enough to put away the blunders he's had recently, but definitely a step in the right direction.
I don't agree with Ungodding here in the comment section saying Orlando looked like world beaters out there. They didn't necessarily look like world beaters. I mean, they played very competitively, right? They had their moments. We had our moments. To be honest, like looking at the game holistically, I don't think, and even including Gressle, I don't think that there was anyone that played really poorly.
I think Gressle had a shit game.
You think he had a wow?
And you know what? And that's that I told you. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna like do the whole act like it's the first time I'm watching him. I'm sorry, I thought Gressle had a bad game. He had poor giveaways. He doesn't contribute. There was a point where was it Jordi Alba? Somebody crossed it to the back post. There was a low cross, and the defender got in the way, but it was going to Gressle. So why is Gressle even bothering to run into the box? Don't even bother to do it. You're not going to do anything with it. Like, Gressle was to me, the only bad spot on the team today.
Well, I mean, Tarun obviously is finding another one. He says we should sign a striker, ship Campana to another team. I mean, I don't know. I was hoping that Campana would score, honestly, but he didn't get the opportunity to be able to score. There was a close moment on a cross. If the cross would have gotten through, where he could have had the opportunity. So,
all right. Well, that's the summary. You want to get into the starting 11?
Yeah, let's do it. I started watching the game maybe like 7-8 minutes into it, but for those of you that are on audio, we're bringing up the starting 11. So I'll go ahead and I'll just round it off. Calendars within the sticks. We got the back four with we got Freire and we got Aviles playing the center backs. We got Weigandt playing right back, Negri playing the left back. And then the middle of the field essentially is Busquets, I guess, in front of them. And then you have Rojas, Taylor, and Gressle and Kremaki. And then up top, you're left with the lone star, Suarez.
Mm-hmm. What did you think about that lineup?
I wasn't happy that they started Kremaki over Ruiz. I was hoping that Ruiz would have gotten the start. But other than that, I don't think. I mean, Gressle's not going to sit for as much as all of the masses want him to sit. He's not going to sit until he has like glaringly terrible games, like where he is a complete blunder, obviously to the eye. He's not going to sit. So I was just surprised that Kremaki got the start over Ruiz. That was the only thing.
And I love Ben Krem. I'm a fan of Ben Krem. And I was having this back and forth with Xavier on the Battle Herons in Espanol. For anybody that watched that on Mondays at 10 o'clock, he was telling me that he believes Ben Krem does play as defensively as David Ruiz. I don't think so. I thought that today he didn't show much want to go back and defend. Now, my thing with this starting lineup is the same thing that I said last time. And it's that David Ruiz, I feel, contributes more defensively, and he helps assist Busquets back there. With the fact that they started Gressle and Kremaki in the midfield next to Busquets, that didn't play like a 4-3-3 to me. To me, it played like a 3-4-3. They had three up top, yes, Taylor, Rojas, and Suarez, but I felt like Busquets was so bogged down to have to stay back defensively because Kremaki and Gressle would keep pushing up that he was basically a third center back
on an island.
He was a third center back. He wasn't. He didn't have room to roam or to push up. So to me, that is a failure on Tata's part. and I say it all the time, right? I like to preface it. He's forgotten more football than I've ever learned, and I'm sure he figures out why he wants to do the things he does. But this still boggles my mind as to why we are leaving Busquets out there with attack-minded midfielders to flank him. He is basically a third center back when he plays with these other midfielders. If you have David Ruiz out there, David Ruiz stays back a little more. He helps defensively a little more. That helps Busquets. Why does Busquets play so well with Gomez and Redondo? Because Gomez and Redondo do everything next to him. Yeah. Busquets could do whatever the hell he wants. He could play striker if he wants. And Redondo and Gomez are going to cover his ass. But with Kremaki and Gressle, that's not going to happen. So it played like a 3-4-3 to me. And I think that, again, our midfield suffers because of it.
Well, and not only that, but then you also notice that the difference between David Ruiz and Kremaki is like David Ruiz gets in his bag. He gets in his bag. Like he can handle the rock.
Yeah.
He can handle the rock. He ain't got no shame with trying to go one-on-one with somebody. And I'm not saying that Kremaki doesn't have that skill set, because you could tell that he does, but sometimes his first touch is a little heavy. You know, his
that
pace
goal he
is
had against Montreal was heavy, but he saved that play anyway.
Oh, absolutely. And he has very long lunges when he runs, whereas like David Ruiz is just like he's just like salsa dancing on everybody. And Mr. Krabs has he's dropping dimes today. Like, Mr. Krabs, you're always on it, man. You deserve a shirt. I'm gonna make sure you get a shirt. Okay, you let us know and we'll get you a shirt. We had 60.
One you want.
Yes, we had 62 possession and only 4 shots on goal. That is mind-boggling.
Well, it's very simple, right? Orlando was not pressing us. They were playing like a mid-block. Yeah. And without Messi, there was no creativity. Now, when Messi's missing and there's no creativity, who do you count on to kind of be the, as they call him, the maestro?
Yeah.
You would count on Busquets. But you know what? Busquets is playing center back for us because Kremaki and Gressle out there. Is that counting on Gressle to help create? Is that what we're doing?
I mean, maybe for like crossing and I mean, I don't know. Like I mentioned, I think it was the last show or not, if not that one, the one before. But to me, it seems like he's like trying to have Gressle move more towards the middle and like be this in between Messi and Busquets, learn from them both and like mix his flavors.
I do think Gressle and Kremaki were playing very centered because, like I said, it's like a 3-4-3. You had your wing backs, I guess you could say, Weigandt and Negri pushing really high up, and they were manning the sidelines. So it was just Gressle and Kremaki kind of trying to create up the middle, and they couldn't. Now, the beautiful thing about Messi is because of his GOAT career.
Yeah.
When he gets on the pitch,
goatness.
Right, his GOATness, his GOAT status. Because of that, he creates without even touching the ball. Just him standing there brings so much attention that it creates space for everybody else. So when we're missing that, we need a Busquets. We need a Jordi Alba. I get it. If he's not fully healthy, don't play him 90 minutes. And there's nothing I can really say too much about that. But if Jordi Alba plays more, I think we have a better chance to win this game.
I want to answer this question by unguarding here, saying, what do you mean learn, Chris? By dropping a Jason bomb, saying, I genuinely think that views Gressle as the next after Messi for chance creators if Sergio can. I wholeheartedly agree with this, Jason. That's why you are a 124 brother, my friend. Because this is what I think Tata looks at when he sees Gressle. He sees Gressle as you are the guy that can create if it's not Messi. And that's scary because, as you could tell, there's times where he has really beautiful crosses, and then there's times where he looks awful. So, and Skrilla is saying here, Gressle don't do shit. Aria is saying Gressle hasn't shown any of that this year. I'm sorry. Lewis is out here saying Gressle as a creator. No way. Listen, I'm not saying he is, guys. I'm not saying that. What I'm telling you is, and this is allegedly by me and Jason, because I'm going to co-sign that. it seems to be that he's kind of like fostering Gressle in this like way where he's going to be like the linker if Messi is not playing or when he's gone.
And Jason's co-signing. He's not saying it, but he thinks that thinks that.
Listen, I mean, look, Mr. Krabs, you might have a point, Mr. Krabs. I'm not saying you don't have a point. The Gressle hate is kind of wild. Okay, it is kind of wild, but I mean, look, people can tell here that he's just getting way too much time for someone that hasn't been as productive as other people. I mean, Rojas in 2 games and 15 minutes has shown better lobbing of the ball than Gressle has all season. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you said that because that's where I was going next. Rojas.
Oh God.
And again, I am Mr. Anti-Bash Tata because again, we've only lost 2 games. We're still top of the table, even though Cincinnati now has one up on us because if they were to win their game, they're now top of the table. But whatever. I think Tata hasn't been as bad as everybody thinks.
Badger Mooring, thank you so much for the support. The $10 super slam. He says, if they can't beat Miami at home without Messi, when will they? I mean, listen, that's one of the best questions.
That's a great point.
It's a scary.
Their ass 5-0 when Messi was playing. Mm-hmm. Messi doesn't play. Look, last year, I don't know if you remember the game. I remember I was in Disney when it happened. I was considering going to the game. Messi wasn't playing. I think Jordi Alba wasn't playing. Everybody thought that it was an L, and we went in there and we drew with them. They still couldn't beat us, and everybody thought they would win. Orlando was in good shape back then. So, yes, that's a great look. Miami has taken over Florida, and that's just is what it is. And we don't like to get into that conversation because, again, we don't consider them real rivals. But let's be real. Let's be real.
So Luis Garcia is saying Rojas did not have a great game. Now, Danny, you were mentioning a point about his creativity, and I just want to kind of piggyback that with his last comment saying crosses doesn't make a creator. I think Tata just thinks Gressle gives us the additional ways to score when we can't get through the middle, which, I mean, look, nobody's doubting that. Nobody's doubting that Gressle has the capability of crossing well. It's just not something that we've seen particularly very often. And like I said before, Danny, go ahead and jump in whenever you can. But Rojas has literally shown in 2 games and 15 minutes that his lobbing of the ball or crossing, whatever it is, whatever you may have it, has been phenomenal. Today, I think he had like 4 or 5 solid passes, long range.
When I talk about somebody creating,
right here, AZ,
I talk about getting the ball into the final third, creating chances.
Oh yeah, man.
That's what you count on the midfield for. If I ask you, who do you think had the most passes into the final third? Who do you think that is?
I mean, Rojas is probably number 1 on that list.
He was.
Absolutely.
He was tracking back and he was creating more from the attacking fight, right? Because he's playing right wing. He's tracking back and getting balls and passes into the final third.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who do you think was second on that list?
Taylor.
No.
Okay, I know. I had a feeling it wasn't, but fuck it.
It was our center back, Sergio Busquets. Okay?
Our center
Rojas had 13 passes into the final third. Busquets had 10. Busquets was creating even though he was playing that deep. So a couple things to that. And again, I hate talking like this because I don't know shit about football. It's just my opinion. If we're having a hard time creating and your 2 best creators are playing up top or basically center back, couldn't you flip that? Couldn't you, if you really want to keep Gressle in there, he's played right wing before. Couldn't you switch Gressle, have him play up top so he can go ahead and be non-contributional
Mr. Crossman,
and then just leave Rojas playing a little further back so he can create in the midfield? Or could you not put in David Ruiz a little earlier to give Busquets some freedom to attribute or contribute more into the offensive final third? Like, I feel like there's other things that he could have done because obviously we were having a hard time. Mr. Krabs said it, 62% possession because we kept back and forth, left to right, left to right, left to right. But we only got 4 shots. We could have done more. I feel like there could have been some changes, and we didn't make those changes, and that's frustrating because although this was a tight game, Orlando had their opportunities. I felt like we left a lot of meat on that bone. I think we could have created more opportunities if we give Busquets an opportunity to help us out a little bit. If we give Matias Rojas, put him in a better position to contribute more, to be more creative. So that was the most frustrating part to me, is that I felt like Matias Rojas could have been more, could have contributed more, and he wasn't given that opportunity.
Well, I mean, but you don't think...
I'm sorry, real quick. And I said, what would I have changed? I would have put David Ruiz in instead of for Kramatsky in the second half or 60th minute, whatever. Give Busquets some freedom to move up a little more. Or I would have had Gressle at right wing, and I would have brought Rojas back into the midfield to help contribute and create in the midfield, because that's what we were lacking. We were lacking. There's a reason why Suarez was almost non-existent, because he didn't see the ball. Nobody got the ball to him because we didn't have anybody in the midfield that could create. Our creator is Messi, and he wasn't there today. And we didn't have anybody to substitute for him in the midfield or to get the ball over there.
And before I answer your question, or before I add on to what your statement was, El Hakem is sitting here saying, Chris and Danny, can Inter Miami survive without Messi and Suarez during Copa America time? I believe so. I believe that Tata has plans in place. He is a very a studious coach. He's been in this business for quite some time. And I feel like he does have plans when Messi doesn't play, when he has certain players not in line. I do think that it is possible that he has something in line whenever we are going to be missing a lot of big players. Did today show that? Not necessarily. Your idea of bringing Gressle up and then bringing Rojas to the midfield, I think would be fantastic. Now, do I think that Tata will do that? No. Because I feel like Tata has like a plan for Gressle. I feel like Gressle, he goes to sleep at night and he thinks, what can I do with Gressle and his time with us in pink? And I don't know. I don't know what kind of idea he has for Gressle, but clearly between Jason and I mean, I think that at this point, he's really seeing him as like a vital option in this offense.
Were you
aside from Messi?
Were you surprised that Suarez came off early today?
No, I'm not surprised.
Me either, because of the game that he has a game on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And Campana needs more run. Campana needs more run. I mean, at the end of the day, look, when Suarez is gone,
you're gonna have to rely on him.
Yeah, Campana's gonna be the guy. Mm-hmm. Unless we throw Robert Taylor up there as striker again. Right? Because Robert Taylor played striker. I mean, Robert Taylor's, he's done everything at this point. The only thing he hasn't done is play goalie. But, you know, other than that, Campana, we're going to need some run out of him. Like Borgelin, he wasn't even on the bench, I think. I mean, was he? Let me bring up the lineup again.
Well, while you do that real quick, Chris
and sorry, Truco, if I'm shitting on Borgelin. I'm not.
Real quick, Chris asked me.
Oh, no, he's not.
Right before the game started. No, I'm sorry. Right before the game ended, he texted me. He asked me, what was the last time we went scoreless? It was the Red Bulls. We lost 4-0. And then he asked, what was the last time we had a 0-0 draw? That was Nashville, August 30th. It was that very first, it was the second game back after Leagues Cup. And it was the rematch of the Leagues Cup final where we played at what was at that point Drive Pink Stadium. It was a 0-0 draw against Nashville. So it's been a while since we don't score and we don't get scored on.
I want to answer this question real quick. I'm going to get personal here. Marengo. Okay. Who's this guy on the left right here? This guy on the left is the guy that's telling you that Robert Taylor played striker. And if you think that I'm full of shit, go look it up, buddy. Because it happened. That's who this guy on the left is.
It happened maybe once or twice.
It happened. Who's this guy on the left? I'm this guy on the left. Get out of here.
He didn't start the game as striker. At least I don't believe so. But he did eventually get moved there.
Borgelin actually has a hamstring injury. So look at that. I mean, who else do we have? Alfonso?
I mean, he's also not a true striker, but he can
who-
play it.
Who else do we have? Robbie Robinson. That guy's been in a chamber.
Is he still on the team?
I don't even know. Is this guy bagging groceries? I mean, I feel so bad because if you watch it,
Yeah,
I
don't.
hope
No,
that
don't. I don't know.
yeah, I'm
Why-
going crazy.
But
I'm
why
going
are you
crazy.
poo-pooing on him? He hasn't done anything.
I put him in a grocery store now, bagging grocery. I'm sorry, Robbie. If you are watching, I'm sorry.
Don't even
buddy.
apologize.
No, I mean,
Don't
look,
even apologize.
I prefer paper over plastic. Okay, just in case.
No, Robbie. Whenever his issue is injury. When he's played, he looks like he has the potential. It's just he can't stay healthy, unfortunately.
Guys, that's not a sock.
It
That
looks
is-
like a sock.
It's not a sock. It's something that I got from the stadium that was passed out for $3.99.
It looks like a sock.
And Jason is mentioning, yes, he's still here.
Yeah, I figured. I was
and,
just joking.
so-
I figured.
yeah.
So there was a couple plays there where, well, first of all, actually, for those that don't know, Chris actually owns a trucking company.
I do not own a trucking company. I am a safety. I do not own a trucking company. I work in the safety department of a trucking company,
That's
and I'm not
what
a
I've heard.
trucker. I wish I was a trucking
Luis
company.
Suarez had a great opportunity. He tried to curl it into the back far post, and Galesi got his hand on it. I think that was the best opportunity we had. There was another build-up. I forgot where. It was a low cross. That's a defender. I think Cartagena got his leg on it, deflected it away. But those are the best two chances. Yeah, go ahead.
That was the one I think that Campana could have finished. He was on the other side of that cross.
So there, and then I thought that Aviles blocked a lot of balls that could have been dangerous. Busquets had a lot of great clearances, and Weigandt, I think, had the best save where it felt like Muriel was going to get a clear shot on goal, and Weigandt hauled ass back and kind of tapped the ball away from right in front of Muriel before he got a shot off. I thought that was the game saver. Although Weigandt didn't have the best of games, I thought that might have been the biggest play of the game, and I think that's what saved us that 1 point.
Aviles had a couple game savers too. Christoph at the end had a game saver.
Were you
Our
nervous when you
defense-
saw Christoph come on?
I wasn't really nervous because look, I mean, Christoph isn't like a terrible defender. You just gotta hope that we never get countered with him on the field. Like
You
if
know
he's
what
on the pitch and we get countered, we're screwed. But like
You know what
solid,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, you know what I noticed? For the most part, Orlando played that mid block for the majority of the game. Then, like minute 83, 84
they
came.
started
All of a sudden,
pressing.
they're like, you know what? Let's press. I was like, oh, no. That had me shook
Yes.
because I was like, oh, this isn't good. And Gressle had a horrible giveaway at one point. It was like in the beginning of the second half, maybe.
Yeah.
I remember I saw that though, and I wanted to text Solana and Xavier, and I was like, "This is your boy. This is the guy you keep telling me isn't that bad," because that was a horrible giveaway that could have easily led. If it would have been against a better team, that could have led to a transition goal for Orlando. So, not the cleanest of games, an entertaining game though, because I felt like both teams were trying to create. Even though Inter Miami didn't do a good job creating, they were looking for ways in, and I thought that was great.
Well, there was a play
watch.
towards. What was that?
A good watch. I was entertained.
No, it was an entertaining game in terms of the competitiveness between both clubs. You know, on the pitch, it was a good game. It was a very hard fought game. They both walked away with a point. So, I mean, if I'm an Orlando fan, I'd be kind of disappointed not walking away with 3 in a home game. But you know, it is what it is. You're playing the best team in the league. Walking away with a point in that case isn't actually a bad thing. One thing I do want to mention, though, that you mentioned when we were getting pressed, there was a play that I was very nervous on where I think it was Busquets. He was getting pressured and he kicked it real hard back to Calendar, and Calendar had to like chest it down and play with it.
I know.
I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna die. We're cooked.
I noticed
Like,
that he gave it the chest. I saw that. Yeah.
Oh my God, because I felt like in his mind and body, he wanted to stop it with his hand, but he's like, oh, I can't play. I gotta play it. So like when I saw that, I said, oh, we're cooked.
When they started pressing, I really thought like this might be a heartbreaker. We might lose in the last couple minutes. So I definitely was worried. There's one more play that I thought Negri did the timing on his cross was poor, and if Jordi Alba's there, I think he helps Robert Taylor more. I think Negri kind of stepped on the ball almost when he had a chance to take a shot. He kind of stepped on the ball, hesitated before passing it to Robert Taylor. And by the time he got to Robert Taylor was in no position to take that shot. He kind of was like stutter stepping, trying to get in position. And I thought that was a golden opportunity lost right there, because I thought that Jordi Alba might set that up a little nicer for Robert Taylor. And I thought that was also another missed chance that we had.
I think in terms of taking the shot, whether it was Franco or Jordi Alba, it was a terrible angle. No matter who would have taken the shot, they're both left-footed.
But he hesitated in the past, and if he doesn't hesitate, Robert Taylor has a better chance of setting himself up in position to take that shot. But by the time he passed it, Robert Taylor, he like stutter step trying to figure out how to get in position to take that shot.
Well, I think the pass, obviously, Negri versus Alba, I think Alba would have probably committed the better pass. But in terms of, because I saw some people on Discord mentioning he should have gone for the shot, he had no angle. The angle was awful. And Gressle is not a rookie goalie here, right? So, like, I think that taking the shot would have been a bad decision. There was one thing I wanted to mention in the beginning of the game. That Calendar gave away the ball on the 8th minute. It was a long pass. Like, I gotta understand these practices that these goalies have. I wish I can go out to like one or two of them, because they have to work on
a media pass.
No, I am gonna get a media pass. You know what? I'm gonna do that. We're doing it. Should I get a media pass, chat? Yes or no?
Media. Let's go.
Should we do it? Should I do it? Yes or no? Because Danny doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to get in a media pad. Doesn't want none of that mumbo jumbo.
I want no parts of that.
Even though I'll drag him with me one time. We'll go and we'll ask questions together.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, we will. Trust me. So, but they have to work on that kind of stuff. No? Is it far-fetched to say that they do work on volley passing or whatnot?
I don't know about volley passing, but they do work on distributing for sure.
Yeah, and so like, why is it that he's been with this team for quite some time, and I imagine he's gone through that kind of practice for a while. So I don't know. And Jamila is saying, is Cello playing good? I asked because he comes from Argentina League, totally different kind of playing. Listen, Cello to me has been good,
solid. He's been solid.
A lot better than Yedlin. What's your opinion on him, Danny?
I think defensively, he's better than what Yedlin gave us. He doesn't have the pace that Yedlin did. And I don't think he's counted
better pace than anticipated.
Yes, 100%. Because we saw that FIFA card, we got a little scared. But offensively, people are saying he doesn't contribute as much as Yedlin. I don't think he's being asked to contribute as much as Yedlin. You forget that we only saw Yedlin and Gressle play together for 2 games, the Real Salt Lake and the Orlando game, and we didn't see them asking. We didn't see them asking for Yedlin and Gressle to kind of work together, and Yedlin was asked to contribute a little more. Since Cello's been here, he hasn't been asked to contribute as much as Yedlin used to. So I don't think it's on, Cello can't contribute offensively. I think they're not asking him to push up and contribute. They're giving, if it's not Messi on the right side, they're giving it to Gressle to do his crosses. So I think that's more than anything why Cello isn't contributing offensively. I think defensively, he's better than Yedlin.
Well, and here we have SFXS saying offensive, Cello is frustration. And then Aria is saying he doesn't really move up the pitch. I mean, Danny said it. Like, Messi's up there. So, like, how much
and Gressle
more
also.
Yeah, and Gressle, who's, like, trying to be, like, a fake Messi here. He's, like, the Wish Messi version. So, like, you have the Wish Messi and the real Messi. Like, what's Cello going to do behind those guys? Right? Now, I mean.
And we also build up. Our buildup is built up the left side a lot with Jordi Alba. I just saw somebody point that out. So again, Cello isn't asked to contribute a lot offensively, and I think that's why that criticism when they compare him to Yedlin, saying that Yedlin contributed more offensively, I think Cello's not being asked to contribute more offensively. They want him to bring up the ball, get up the pitch a little bit, but he's not asked to do that as much as Yedlin was. And I think defensively, he's showed more promise than Yedlin. But I guess you could have the counter argument that since Yedlin was asked to do more offensively, he couldn't get back, whatever. You know, you can go back and forth about that all day. But in a nutshell, I think Celo's been playing well defensively.
Well, and Lewis is telling me don't do wish Messi like that. I mean, it's a shout out to Mike V. It's a shout out to Mike V. I'm giving him
I haven't seen Mike V in like a month in here.
Yeah, I haven't seen Mike V either. He's I don't know where he's at. But I'll tell you, look, I think remember Yedlin played the right side, and then his counterpart on the left was either Franco Negri or what was it, McVeigh, Noah Allen.
Mm-hmm.
So like you had other people on the other side that were not capable as much as Yedlin was. So obviously the need for him to push up and the skill, the ability is there with Yedlin versus the other left backs that were on the other side. So it's a big difference, guys.
Were you surprised that Messi didn't play?
Because
the last time we were on here, we thought Messi was playing and we predicted wins because we thought Messi was playing. All of a sudden, yesterday we hear that he might not play. Today we find out he's not playing. Were you surprised?
I wasn't surprised. Because Orlando Wednesday game, midweek game, right? You're talking about cramming 3 games in a week.
After getting a little tweak in the knee.
Exactly. I wasn't surprised.
I guess I wasn't surprised either. I was disappointed. And at that point, I was like, you know what? If we get a draw, and in the Discord, we were talking about it earlier today about if we get a draw, I'm happy. Because, that's really all you want. So when you're in a bad spot on the road and you're missing your best player.
Well, and on Godding right here, Cello is better than Yedlin. Yes. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I agree.
It is what it is. What it is. Cello is clearly better and especially fits this system better as well. His pace is better than what we anticipated. His defense is better than what we anticipated. And when he actually contributes on offense, he contributes pretty effectively. So I think those are
We still haven't won a game in Orlando. Somebody just brought that up in the chat.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And I've gone to some of those
Mr.
games.
Krabs is on it. Mr. Krabs, you're on it today.
Mm-hmm.
You're on it. Mr. Krabs. Shout out to Mr. Krabs. You've been a day one. Shout out to you, my boy.
So are you worried about Messi now?
I'm not necessarily worried about Messi. I mean, we have a game this Saturday, and then after that, the next game is 7 days later. Right? So I think that Messi
in Canada, Vancouver, which is the longest flight we make all year.
It is right. Oof.
Messi's not going. He's not going to that game.
But now imagine that, right? If he's not going to that game, then the following game after that is, I think, the following Wednesday. So he plays this Saturday
at home,
and then he plays Atlanta 11 days later. So
if he doesn't go to Vancouver, yes.
If he doesn't go to Vancouver, which Vancouver is a team, they got a team, they got a club out there. So he would take a 7-day break in between his last game and this Saturday's game. Then, if he doesn't play against Vancouver, he's taking an 11-day vacation. I'm not worried, man. I'm not worried.
Okay, well, I'll tell you why I think you should be worried as far as Inter Miami goes. We all know Messi's priority right now is winning Copa America. And if he is feeling any discomfort in his knee, I think that he holds out to make sure he's 100% because Copa America starts in, I think, just about exactly a month, in like 2 or 3 days. So because he is focused in on Copa America, I think there's a chance that if he feels some discomfort, he's not pushing it. Maybe if it was like September, October, into the playoffs, he's playing for sure. But if he's feeling some discomfort, I think there's a chance he doesn't play, and we might not see him for a while.
So you don't think he's going to play this Saturday either?
I think it's telling. If he doesn't play this Saturday, I don't think we see him again until after Copa America.
Well, and then look at this. Mr. Krabs is saying, doesn't Vancouver play on turf? Messi ain't playing there anyways. So. I don't think they play on turf. I think they do play on like artificial hybrid grass turf made from Scott's X bonus weed feed killer, whatever. And we do not, we're not sponsored by Scott's Boneless X, whatever they call it on those ads. I've just been seeing a lot of that. I guess I look like a guy that cuts grass often.
You do cut grass often.
I do cut grass often. I love it. And not as much nowadays. But Gel is saying he won't play until August. And Tony Axe is saying he needs to be match fit. And Yamila makes a good point. Messi already played on turf, so there's that.
Right, that's true. But when your knee is messed up, those turf fields are usually a knee or Achilles killer. So if your knee is banged up, you don't want to go ahead and play on turf.
Soccer Daddy saying living in Vancouver is nightmare, guys. I was actually looking at that Vancouver trip. And it's expensive to go over there. Oof. The prices to fly from Miami to Vancouver is awful. I mean, it looks beautiful over there. Like scenically, right?
Yeah.
The scenery looks very, very gorgeous out there. But I imagine that living in Vancouver is not fun. Now, I do imagine he wants to play in Vancouver because he still hasn't scored on Canada. Like, he hasn't scored in Canada. Remember?
He gives a crap about that?
I think he does. You think he cares about playing in Canada and scoring in Canada?
Absolutely not. And then I looked it up. Vancouver plays on something called Politan, which is a type of turf, a synthetic turf. So I don't know if that's any different from the regular turf. I don't know if it's better on the knees. But I do think that this Saturday, him playing or not playing is very telling. Because if he doesn't play this Saturday, I don't think the soonest we see him is Atlanta, I think.
I mean, look at what Stancy says. Messi wants to score in all countries. Aria says
I don't think that's a goal.
He doesn't give a fuck about that.
Yeah, I don't think that's a goal of his. I don't think he's like, I don't feel good, but I've never scored in Canada, so let me tough it out. No, I don't think he cares about that. I think that if he plays, he wants to score, but I don't think he's going to make a decision about playing just because he wants to score in Canada. Like I think that's...
I think that he's super capable of just turning it on and being like, I kind of want to score in the next 5 minutes. And then he goes and scores. That's what I think. Now, this is a bomb. This is a full 199 bomb drop. De Bruyne and Ramos are going to San Diego FC for your information. Literally, drop the hammer.
Can I? And we're about to, I guess, get off topic, but De Bruyne coming to the MLS will be almost as big, right? Not as big, but almost as big as Messi coming. Because De Bruyne is still
in his prime-ish.
In his prime. Probably on the backside of his prime, but he's still considered in his prime, right? If Modric comes, if Cruz comes, one of these guys that's in their mid to late 30s. But how old is De Bruyne? Like, if De Bruyne comes, that would be a huge deal for the MLS because that would show, well, he's 32. He would be 33. So, okay, he's a little older than I thought. For some reason, I thought he was 31. But I still think that you're slowly getting a little younger.
And Mr. Krabs is on another one. Damn, Sergio Ramos to San Diego sucks for Danny. He called it.
That does suck.
And go ahead. Oh, bring up the next one.
No, he was telling me to stop it. If you start getting big stars before they are no longer wanted by European, I promise you that if De Bruyne would have wanted to sign with Manchester United, any other club, they'd love to have him, and all their fan bases would be hyped to have Kevin De Bruyne because he's still that guy. Yeah, he's 32. So I was a little off. So he is a little older, but still, he is a hot commodity. People still want him. He's still one of the best players in the English Premier League. I think if he comes right now, I think that's still a big thing. And Florida, man, you don't think De Bruyne is wanted by just about every club in the like? Most people wouldn't be happy to get Kevin De Bruyne. I think you are smoking something if you don't think that.
I think most leagues, if not most clubs, would love to have him.
And the thing is, De Bruyne maybe isn't a household name, but if you watch football, you know De Bruyne, and it's like saying, I don't know, who else is a footballer that maybe people don't know that are casuals, but like hardcore people might know. I can't think off the top of my head. Some people know who Modric is. He won the Ballon d'Or.
Ty Manin is saying, how about Salah coming to MLS?
I heard he's staying in Liverpool. Well, whatever. We're getting off into Miami topic,
we
but
are.
Yeah, but Kevin De Bruyne, I think that would be a huge move if they can get him to MLS, especially to a brand new club. I think that would be a huge move. Sergio Ramos, it breaks my heart, but I've heard that there's a good chance he ends up over there also. And I don't like to do this. I don't like to do this because we are not reporters here. But
my God.
I have heard rumblings from some people that I know that know stuff. That Di Maria might be a little more real than we've been giving it credit here on this show. Like that actually does have some legs. So
Robert Taylor's gone then.
Probably.
Oh my God. Now
I'm getting that has legs.
I'm getting some shit in the chat saying that Chris got a cap before decorating his wall. And I'm not a cat person. Her name is Luna, by the way. Angel is asking. I'm not a cat person. She's not ugly. She's gorgeous.
She's ugly as hell.
It's my oldest daughter's cat. So
well, let her know that I think it's ugly.
Yeah. If we get Di Maria, then Robert Taylor's gone. Robbie Robinson is put in another cryo chamber in another state, right? We're literally just going to move him in a truck that's going to be rented by my company. And we'll move him to another state. So we're going to lose some old school players then.
Well, like I said, I said that it has legs. Right, so somebody told me that it definitely has legs. There's definitely a lot of communication going on, and it's a big possibility. But we're not reporters on here. But since they started talking about De Bruyne, I figured I'd throw up that. I'm not saying that it's happening, but definitely has a lot more legs. I wasn't giving it too much thought because I thought soccer rumors suck. They always rumor somebody. And how many people were we rumored to have before we got Weigandt and before we got who else? Oh, Matias Rojas. We have rumors for everything, but this one is for real. This one might actually happen.
Well, Unguiding is saying Robbie Robinson will outstay everyone in Inter Miami at this point. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. They just keep him in the chamber for the next 10, 15 years.
That might be the comment of the show.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All right.
I did want to mention something. I did see Victor Ulloa. He works for the MLSPA now.
Oh.
Or he's like just started or has been working a little bit for the MLSPA. Congrats to Victor Ulloa. I think it was like a month or two ago that he ended up getting that gig. I'm surprised I didn't see him in a novela.
Telenovela.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think as far as the game goes, we talked about just about everything. Orlando had 14 shots to our 7 shots. We both had 3 shots on target. We held possession because we just kept passing the ball back and forth. They were playing that mid block, just letting us hold the ball and do nothing with it.
Yeah.
It was, although it was an exciting game statistically, it doesn't look like it was. If you just look at the stats, it doesn't look very exciting. I don't know if there's anything else that you would like to cover before we head out of here.
Well, I guess just to get a feel of the chat, guys, for this game, did you think it was good or bad, this game and the outcome?
Does this make you feel different about
Messi being gone for Copa America, because I know somebody asked earlier and we said no, they'll be fine. But before today, I thought this team couldn't figure it out. They have Matias Rojas, Redondo's coming back, Gomez is coming back. Like I thought they'll be good. But after this result, are you feeling worse about this whole Copa America Messi absence? Because I guess it could be a little worrisome that without him, we've won one game, we've lost twice or three times. I have to go back. No, without him. Sorry, we lost twice without him, and we've drawn twice, I believe. So I think we're 1-2-2. I think he's missed 5 games.
We're getting a lot of OKs, like in the middle. Nobody was really too happy or too mad about it. And you know what? They're saying it's the contrary to your opinion, that it was a snooze fest, boring.
I was entertained.
Disappointed. And Anton John is saying great game defensively. I think you kind of asked this question earlier. It's just I don't know if I'd be scared necessarily, because I feel like we still have a really good quality number of players that I feel can pick up a little bit of slack. I mean, obviously, we don't have a Messi counterpart to pick up for Messi's lack of time with us, right?
Okay, well,
when he's going to Copa America.
Just in case you forgot, let me name you the 7 opponents if Messi were to go all the way to the final Copa America. Be Philadelphia. Hasn't had a great year, but has some names. Columbus. Nashville, our rivals. Then we got Charlotte. And then we have Cincinnati. That's a huge game because they're the ones that are probably going to be taking over the supporter shield after tonight.
Fucking Canotelli, whatever his name is.
Toronto, which has been playing well this year. At least I believe they have.
Bernadeschi's getting in the bag.
And then Chicago on July 20th. So those 7 games, if Messi goes all the way to the final, those are the 7 games he would miss. I don't know.
Out of respect, Chicago, they don't allow people to put ketchup in their hot dogs.
And that's a legit thing.
That is a legit thing. If you guys don't believe me, so yes, Celentano is who I meant. Tank. I don't care about that guy. If I buy a beer, I'll throw it at him.
And we are gas bagging, just in case anybody was wondering. So we have gotten to the gas bagging part of the show. I don't know.
That's a tough slew of games, though, Danny. It's not really gas bagging. Those games are tough. We got some tough opponents in that 7-game stretch.
Yeah.
So Yamil is saying Nashville's a big game. Jason L says he can't wait for Yedlin to tackle Suarez and Alba. So it looks like Yedlin's gonna come back, like just start clotheslining people, right? So
well, I saw something about a 10-game losing streak. Remember, we've only lost 2 games so far this year. So
yeah,
hopefully we can eke out some draws. But I don't think we'll lose 10 in a row.
I don't think we're gonna lose 10. No way. That's awful. I do think that we have, like I said, we have a good amount of players. Is Redondo gonna be gone
for the Olympics, for the Leagues Cup? But Messi should be back by then.
Okay. So we'll have Redondo. Gomez, is he going to be going to play for Paraguay?
I think he might be playing the Olympics also. So I think we'll have Gomez also. Just because he's coming off an injury, I don't think they're going to take him to Copa America. I think he'll end up playing in the Olympics.
Yeah, and Matias Rojas, he's not going. So we'll have him.
He might get called up.
Maybe. But, I mean, we got Diego Gomez and Redondo trying to come back into shape.
Busquets will still be playing. Jordi Alba will still be playing. Freire will still be playing. Aviles, if he goes anywhere, it would be to Olympics, but I don't even think he's going to go to that. So Aviles will still be playing. Weigandt will still be playing. We'll be in good shape. Drake, I guess Drake would technically go to Copa America to be like the 3rd goalkeeper.
Technically, maybe.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
All
and this is a good question, Hazel. Long time no see, buddy. Is Emerson playing for Colombia? Probably. And if he doesn't, Colombia's making a tremendo mistake.
No, Emerson has not and will not ever play for La Selección Colombia.
Wow, what a shame.
Yeah,
What a shame.
All right. Chris, any final thoughts as we wind down here? Because I think we don't even have anything to gas bag about.
Yeah, I mean 0-0. It was a hard-fought game on both sides. Got to give credit where credit is due. Off to the next one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I just bring this up real quick? Remember, people kept giving me crap because I said that I didn't like Dibu. I didn't say he was bad. I said I just didn't like him. Okay, you're allowed to not like good players. Okay, you're allowed to not like good players.
Yeah.
But I saw an interesting stat yesterday. He is the first goalie in the English Premier history to have 3 own goals in a season. So shout out to Dibu and all you Argentine and Dibu lovers. Shout out to you for that great record that he just broke this year. Great job.
All right.
I
So
want to put that out there.
As Danny does a drive-by and then runs off. Let's just get out of here before we catch any strays.
No, it's a goalkeeper tank. It's the first goalkeeper to ever do it. All right. Yeah, that's it. If you are listening, if you are listening on audio, thank you for listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, review, all other good stuff. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friend. He also has the most clean sheets. I'd have to check that. I don't believe you. And if you are part of the chat, if you're part of the chat, we appreciate you as always, and the love that I get from the chat. Obviously, look, we'll fight you, Danny.
Literally said everything right at the end. Now we're just gonna catch strays. Comment section is gonna be amazing this week.
Oh yeah. All right, and thank you as always for Yamila included, even though they want to fight me. We appreciate you hanging out with us. And now I'm a clown. Jesus, all right. So we appreciate you hanging out with us for the last hour. As always, you guys are the best part of the show. We'll be back tomorrow to preview the DC United game. And Danny offended Kat and Dibu 100%. I didn't say he wasn't good. That's not what I said. I just told you he broke a record, and I don't like him. That's it. Okay? I didn't say he wasn't good. All right. So appreciate you guys, and until the next one, have a good one.